Hello, I'm Zach OJ. I recently got into Mythic Manforge and got down Plexus Sentinel along with Soulbinder. I feel like Plexus was played pretty well until the very end of my first kill. I'll explain all the things that I do. The talents I was running was just like regular Fatebound. This is with 4-piece. I think without 4-piece you also would run Fatebound and then Internal Bleeding. I'll just get into watching this pull. So a couple of things that you want to know about Plexus are, I guess, just the main mechanics. The big thing is your Reshi reps now have an extra action button that you need to be pressing to get through this wall that will be coming down. You'll see it in a second. So for your CDs as well, you just kind of press your CDs on CD. On the second kill we had, I had to make like a decision between holding my pot for like a different spot. It was interesting, but you make those decisions on the fly. So this is the first mechanic that comes out. It is obviously these little things. You put them wherever your raid leader tells you to put them, and then you get the tank hit. So the tank hit is a drop off, so I try to be as far as I can, and then also pressing feint for this. So pools are coming up soon, so pools are going to be the thing that go to the side, and then soak is going to be the thing that you're going to see how we deal with it as a rogue. Since there is no like extra damage taken debuff on this soak, you can actually be in both groups. So what the soak does is at this line in my little thing, it's going to bump everyone out of the soak. So it'll do an initial amount of damage and bump people out. And then you need the second group to get in. Essentially, you're splitting the groups and putting one half in and one half out and waiting to step back in at the very end. But as a rogue, we're able to soak both of them very easily with, you'll see right here, so it gets close to the bar. I find Talanya, which he's the target. That's important to know who it's targeted on because he's going to stand still the whole time. And so I see Talanya, I go over, I'm about to mouse over his frame, which I actually don't have a mouse over shadow step, so I click him, which is kind of suboptimal, but you know. And then I'm pressing feint right before this line hits. If you want an actual indicator, I think it's this cast bar on the boss is the first hit of it, and then he does another cast bar faster. So you can watch the cast bar for the timer if you don't have the Northern Sky weak core pack that would show this. So I'm feinting because it's AoE damage, and then get hit, shadow step, get hit again. Something that you play by ear is your Crimson Vial here. You're gonna have Crimson Vial up every single time that this soak goes out. So you either are dying and need to Crimson Vial, or you're not dying and don't need to Crimson Vial. But usually what I have to do is this first hit, sometimes it's like DR'd enough to where I don't even have to use my Crimson Vial. I think maybe it's a healer CD thing, like difference. But once I shadow step, I check my HP, and if I need a Crimson Vial, I'll press it right now so that I'm getting my Crimson Vial ticking already. But this one, I'm just getting a ton of value from the Crimson Vial. I can go and show our first kill. You'll see my Crimson Vial healed me for 37k like HPS, overhealed 31%. So not bad. You'll see, so this Eradicating Salvo, this is what the group soak is. I mitigated 50% of this. I'm assuming this one at the bottom is the second cast of this. Maybe? I'm not sure what that is. But there's a second cast to this, and I have feint on it as well. So it's pretty good. Reducing the amount of damage we're taking by about 50% is very good. Let's back to the pull. So here's stage 2 coming up. Boss is going to reach 100% energy, and I am pressing this Kingsbane. So I think this is a good choice to press this Kingsbane, and then I shadow step and I shiv at the last tiny bit that I could get. I think that's like really valuable to do that. And then now my Kingsbane is just ticking on the boss as we're walking here. I'm not losing CD value because if I had to walk through all of this intermission with my CDs up, like I'm just kind of losing infinite value here. But you'll see this first intermission is really simple. I got bumped somehow. This is the wall I was talking about. These happen every other tank soak on the start, which I can kind of go back and show. So you'll see tank bomb in 10. So this tank bomb goes off here. Yep, there's a wall. And so then you'll see here's tank bomb 2. And then, so you'll see with this one, I guess since it's stage 2, you don't really notice, but it would be on the next part, technically. So just kind of play these intermissions the way that your raid leader tells you to. We are gripping stuff to this marker to just kill them at the same spot. You may do it differently, but that's okay. So then with this wall, you just press your Reshi reps, which something to note with the Reshi reps, like the extra button, is if you are moving in a direction, it's going to go that direction you're moving. But if you're standing still, it's going to go the direction you're facing. So keep that in mind. And this is the intermission. You pop your defensives as needed. Unfortunately, we're playing Fatebound, so your evasion is not a defensive anymore. So you just kind of got to raw dog it. Like I said, I'm pressing buttons on CD. You'll notice as well, this is not a CD with another prism. I'm not showing my stacks of my another prism, but it's at 8, or it's at 10, so it has 8 stacks left, which is 80 seconds. So we have enough time to get this on our 3-minute, which will also be with our vanish. So it'll be fully stacked 3-minute with our vanish. Then the way this square of the room is played is we place these things on the right side, and it just helps with the way we're getting pushed and stuff. So we do the same thing over and over and over. You see this one again. It was the crimson on the second part. If there's not enough people in the first one, or not enough DR in the first one, then maybe you have to press your feint earlier than that. On the second tank bomb, this one you're getting a wall here. You see it's coming. You pop a feint here, and then you just go through the wall. That's something really useful. Is like this was as undergeared as we were gonna be, and popping feint on every single tank mechanic is like pretty useful. Just try to do that when you have the energy to, or it's like you're not fully topped, or stuff has to happen after that. But yeah, this is the same. I'm going to skip forward to, so this is stage 2, the second stage 2. So on this stage 2, you want to get knocked to the middle. Unless your raid leader told you to do something else, you get knocked to the middle. So we're going to be sliding here. And like I said, you see my CDs are going while I'm moving. You should just pop your CDs. Do not waste your CDs. There's no reason to not get damage on your CDs. I think I also noticed on my second kill, I was able to rupture this mob before like going back. But we group them on this star marker. It's very easy. Just shadow step over onto the mob. There's one that spawns on star as well. So it's very easy to get to. Then you'll notice, so if you have your sprint up here, this is the next one. This one's really easy. You just go through. There you go. The third one is the one that is weird. So we're just doing damage, blah, 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 blah. And then if you have this soak, don't move. You don't get moved, and people need to position off of your position. So then here is the weird intermission that you need to kind of pay attention to. So depending on how quickly you kill these ads, you can do a different timing on this wall. If we were killing these ads like really fast, then we would have been able to get up here fast enough and then use our cloak through the wall right there. But since we're slow, we're going to wait right here. And when these balls overlap with the wall, you just use your extra action button to get through. And then you walk on the left side. This is actually a little swirly. It does like an S move up here. So you're also able to gate through this. So if you guys have planned gates and stuff, then that's useful. So you notice here, this is the massive Deathmark pot that I get on this intermission. We help a lot with this one. Want to get to the part that I messed up. So we're doing the fight regularly, and you'll see cleanse the chamber. This is I guess that's the actual like full enrage cast. Well, okay, here's actually cleanse the chamber being casted. I'm assuming this is like the complete enrage or something. Maybe I'm crazy. I'll show you what I do wrong here. So the boss is going to now spam out walls. And so the first one, I use my Rescue Apps through, and then I pop my CDs, and then I run away. So if you're in this exact situation, shadow step right now. But for some reason, I like tunnel visioned and just waited for my CD on my Rescue Apps, which you'll notice that I remember that I have shadow step on the second one, and then even on this one too. Like right here is a good way of doing this. I was really close to that trap, but I moved to the left. So yeah, be better than me. If you get to that enrage part, press your shadow step, and then other than that, press your CDs on CD and use your defenses in the same way I did, or a similar way, and you'll have success. I currently stream all my raid nights. I actually raid a ton early in the season. There's a third day on both of my guilds right now. So I raid Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All of those are starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to go watch on my Twitch, you can watch there. If I remember to do my YouTube co-stream, then you can also watch there. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd also like to mention, if you want to use my UI, if you'd like to get whatever I'm using with this, there was a big update that I pushed recently with all the new changes that I've done, which are a lot of changes. You can join my Discord. It's also on, I also host my UI on the Wago UI packs page. I'll have that in the description, as well as the Discord invite link, as well as the Discord link with the logs to the boss as well, if you'd like to look at those. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed this, and have a good one.